Hello Fantasy Faithfuls, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 21 of CSD Head-to-Head. Today I have two running backs from the NFC East, thanks to John Owens in Ezekiel Elliott and Saquon Barkley.
It's Elliott! Elliott! For the touchdown! No flags! Cowboys lead!
Starting off, we're breaking down the rushing and receiving of Ezekiel Elliott, and on your screen you will be seeing the play calling for him averaged out over the last 3 years. The interesting thing is that this year it changes a lot. We beat on David Johnson for being predictable, but Elliott has seen an increase in its yards per carry while also increasing his runs up the A-gap to 31% compared to the 27 you see on the screen. Otherwise, the thing we can say is that he gets the ball pretty much everywhere all around. And that is a good thing, because holy crap is he good all over. His worst running lane is the C-gap outside the left tackle, and that has freaking 4.1 yards per carry. Joe Mixon's best lane has 4.6 yards, so some backs just dream of these numbers. However, the play calling should take him more in the B-gap between Zach Martin and Lyle Collins, where he gains 6 yards per carry. In the receiving aspect of his game, he has a very classical running back distribution, except that he has a huge disparity between left and right. This can easily be seen when watching the Cowboys play, when they call all their screens to the right.
Setting up a screen for the penalty, and it's a big one. And now they're going to set it up to Elliott. Tries to get a dump off.
He is very reliable in catching the ball, and even if 67% is not the highest, it is still to the point where he can be trusted to catch it way more than half of the time when he gets targeted. His touchdown rate is the only glaring weakness in his play this year, going down to 3.2% compared to 3.7% if you account for 2016 and 17 as well. This can be attributed to the runs up the A-gap becoming more and more predictable. But back to his receiving, he is decent in yards per catch to the left and middle, but nothing that stands out. The middle is actually below league average by 3 yards. The right side gets it from all those screen passes that you just saw.
Individual play by Beckham to get it. Here's Barkley making a cut. He's gone. No flags. Touchdown, Giants.
Now let's take a look at Saquon Barkley's rushing and receiving. Barkley has even more stale play calling than Elliott. And that is very easy to see, as we can see that most likely he will get his rushing opportunities straight up. Not meaning straight up as in the A-gap, but the runs will not bounce to the outside, with only 8 and 7% being taken outside the tight ends, compared to 28 and 20 outside the left guard and the center. And looking at his yards per carry there, I can kind of see why. He has not produced at all on the left side of the field. He is not as elusive and does not gain enough help from the offensive line on runs going that way. Furthermore, looking at the A-gap, 28% of his runs go for 2.8 yards per carry? What's going on? He's not in an ideal situation, and with how well he's done, I am very impressed. And a lot of that impressive stats, they come from how the Giants have targeted Barkley on pass plays, and that reminds us a lot of Elliott. Not that many over the middle, while the right side of the field is clearly a favorite. If Elliott had better numbers in the rushing, Barkley shows us just how good his hands are here. He is extremely reliable in catching the ball, and I think he should get even more time in the pass game, as I will show you in a minute. His touchdown rate since entering the league is 3.2%, same as Elliott in 2018, but not as good as Elliott has been since entering the league. Looking at his yards per catch, we clearly see that Barkley is a more dangerous threat in the air. He will gain yards all over the field while catching almost everything. Give him space, and he will give you a first down.
He's the one who's taking the run of it.
Here's Barkley off the hesitation. Inside the 5, still going. Touchdown, Saquon Barkley.
Now let's have a look at how they perform in some different situations. Both these running backs look like receivers in the situational trends. Both heavily favors home field advantage, especially Barkley, who is more than twice as good in fantasy at home. Elliott's scoring go hand in hand since the Cowboys play indoors when they are at home, while Barkley does not change up too much when he gets indoors. Elliott has been less productive when the Cowboys are playing a good team, while Barkley steps up ever so slightly when they play a good team. Elliott's best situation is playing a below 500 record team with a dome stadium, while Barkley's best situation is playing at home versus an above 500 record team.
drive of the second half. Begins with Elliott breaking it into the secondary, and it's a foot race, and he will not be touched.
Time to look a little closer at the two defenses they will face in the Atlanta Falcons and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Falcons have been weirdly good at defending runs up the A-gap in 2018, while they have not been able to stop runs outside the right tackle and left guard, zones where Elliott have been very good in and tends to run a lot too. Another surprise is that the Bucs also have been good at defending the A-gap, while they can't defend runs outside the left guard and right tackle, Barkley's most productive zone and the one where he runs most of his runs to, meaning if you don't count the A-gap. All in all though, these are not good run defenses. The Falcons give up the 4th most points to running backs and the Bucs the 9th most. Small advantage to Elliott here though, but still very close. Looking further ahead at their schedules, Elliott has a very difficult schedule facing some of the best teams at limiting running back scoring, 28th worst schedule in the league. However, Barkley has it even worse. If you look at his opponents, they are the absolute worst group of teams any running back has to face in weeks 12 to 16. While Barkley has a great matchup in just week 16, he will have to fight tooth and nail up until then. Comparing their numbers, we have a ceiling win for Elliott. Not by much though, Barkley has a lot of big game ability too. In 2018, Barkley has been the safer play week to week, which hurts my heart. But with an 11-point floor, you can sleep sound with him in your lineup. The risk of them not reaching their prediction this week is not close at all. Elliott is at 57%, while Barkley is one of my safest players at 20%. Their week 11 score projection heavily impacts the risk, and Elliott gets the final word with being projected for 3 more points than Barkley. So to summarize, let's look at their pros and cons. Elliott is facing a much worse run defense in a dome, which is good. His schedule is difficult, but easier than Barkley's. His rushing efficiency is fantastic and the play calling can't get worse. His floor has me concerned moving forward though. Barkley is fantastic in the passing game, next level stuff. He plays at home where he just dominates in fantasy. His play calling is very predictable and you can see by the left side struggles that he lacks help. He's projected for less points this week as well. After looking at these players, I had such a hard time making a decision that I both gave them 20 carries, measured their play calling against their opposing defenses, and with that, Elliott would be gaining 95.4 yards and Barkley 87.6. So I'll have to give the edge to Elliott. Moving forward, I have to go with Elliott as the Giants have the worst schedule and are usually in a negative game script. Let me know who you prefer for week 11 and moving forward in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more weekly content. And as always, the spreadsheets are dark and full of terror. Hello Fantasy Faithful, I hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget to check out more of them right here and here. In case you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss a beat.